Hey everybody out there, welcome to another video with me, Kris Amerikos. And in case you don't know who I am a professional teacher of English as a second language. So sometimes that's called an ESL teacher, sometimes that's called a TEFL teacher, and sometimes it's just called a teacher. So the first thing that I want to do today, while we're waiting for everybody to get onto the video, is I'm just going to tell you a little bit about English and why it's important. So if you're watching this video, you probably already know that. And the video today is an opportunity for you to ask any question about English that you want to ask. Because usually these videos have a specific topic or theme, and that means that we usually just talk about one thing the whole video. But this video is question and answer. That means you ask the questions and I'm going to answer you. So I see one question already in the chat. Zilmara wrote, "Hi, how are you?" Zilmara, I'm doing excellent. How are you? Go ahead and answer me in the chat. So you see, guys, this video works like this. You write your questions in the chat and I'm going to answer you live right now. Now, usually there's a lot of people here. Like there's already more than 200 people watching this video right now. So sometimes it's difficult for me to actually answer all of the questions, but don't worry. If I don't answer your question right away, I'll try to answer later in the video. And I'm going to answer the most important questions first, all right? So that means that things that I think that lots of people want and need to know, I'm going to answer that first, and then I'll answer other questions. And if I don't answer your question, don't get upset, because you'll have another opportunity to ask more questions. You can always write me and ask me your questions in my group. And you can find my groups about teaching, about studying English. You can find them all in the description to this video. So if you click the video that you're watching right now, then it'll open up and you can look at the description, and there are all of the links. And I'll send some of the links to the chat as well. So the first one I'll send here is the link to the English group, so you can ask more questions there. And then after that, I'll also send a link to the teaching group. So if you're a teacher, I see someone wrote that, let's see, Varavan wrote, "Hi, I'm an English teacher too. Nice to meet you." Nice to meet you too. So here's the group. It's called Language Teaching Business. I actually help teachers set up their own teaching businesses online and offline. So yeah, so those are all of the links. I've just sent them all to you. And you can click the video and look at the description and find the links there too. So we're going to get started here very, very soon. And first of all, we're just waiting for more people to get on the video. We have almost 300 people here now, and I'm going to start answering some of these questions. So let's see, we have someone here from Peru. Hi. Let's see. Someone wrote, "What's the difference between being, grab, and get in use?" Okay, maybe you mean bring, grab, and get. Good question. Well, grab, first of all, grab means to take something with force, or take something very strongly, very quickly. So when we grab something, sometimes it can be rude. But also we could say grab like just, "Hey, can you give me that thing? Can you grab my phone for me? You're closer to my phone. Can you grab it?" When someone comes to your house, you could say, "I'll grab the door." Like I'll answer the door, I'll open the door. Great. The other, let's see, it was grab, bring. So bring is when we hold something and then we move near something, okay? And actually, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that today, because I don't think I've made a video about that before, and it's really important. And then get means a lot of things. It has a lot of different meanings. So, there could be a separate video just for get, because Get is very confusing. There's a lot of different meanings. Let's see. Okay, some more questions here in the chat. It's important to know good grammar of the language to learn more easy another language. Oh, that's a question. Okay. Grammar is very important. I'll just say that from the beginning. Grammar is very, very important. Think of it like this. If you sit in the car and you just move the steering wheel left and right and left and right, that's like the vocabulary of the language. Sure, you can point the language in different directions, but you're not moving forward. Grammar is like what moves us forward. It's the rules of the road. Okay, this is how you need to drive so you don't get in accidents, like make mistakes in the language, or so that you don't. So that people understand you, right? Because that's the whole point of learning a language. It's the point of learning the language is to communicate. So you want to send a message to someone. All right, let's see. We've got lots of comments here. So, hi, I'm from Hungary. Where are you from? Hi, let's see, Senti. Hi, Senti. I am from the United States. Right now, I'm in Florida. That's where I live right now. But, I travel a lot, and I'm really lucky because I have a really great job. I'm an English teacher, and I'm a teacher trainer. So I teach other teachers how to teach and how to start their own teaching businesses. And I get to travel all over the world. I get to work from wherever I want, from the computer, and I really love it. I really love being a teacher. So, yeah, great. So everybody who's watching right now, it looks like we have 350 people right now. Everybody who's watching right now, just write in the chat where you're from, all right? I'm from the United States, and I live in Florida. Where are you from? I saw someone wrote from Peru, from Hungary. Someone wrote from Thailand. Great. We have a really international crowd here today. Let's see. How do you motivate kids to love learning English? Very good question. Very good question. Thank you. Let's go ahead and talk about that. So, how do you motivate children to love learning a language? Well, I know a lot of people who they have kids and they want their kids to know English, and they actually tell their kids that they can only play video games in English. Yeah, they can only play video games in English. So that's one way to motivate people, right? Because if they can only do it in English, then because they love playing video games, they're only going to be able to play them in English. That means they want to know what people are saying in their games, right? So I would say that that's the best way to motivate kids is find something that they already love. And it's not only for children. Find something that your students love. Anyone who wants to be motivated to study English or learn anything, find something that you love. Associate the thing that you want to learn with the thing that you love. Or it doesn't have to be a thing you love. It can just be a thing that you usually do. For example, it might be driving in the car. Associate driving in the car with listening to English tapes. Associate washing the dishes with watching a TV show in English. This is really easy to do, and it really works because now every time you do that activity, you have to do it in English. And every time you do it, you start to think about that. You make a rule in your head, in your mind, that you have to do that in English. And so every time you get English practice, that's amazing. I love that. That's awesome. So yeah, great. Okay. Other questions? I see lots of people writing here. Let's see, from Turkey, from Brazil. Great. Okay, someone wrote, how can I teach English to children? Oh, I see another comment. Hi, I'm from Thailand, but I live in Florida. Cool. What part of Florida do you live in? I live in Tampa. let's see, we have Poland here. Okay, great. So I see some people are getting angry that I'm not answering their questions. So guys, I'm really sorry if I don't see your questions and I don't answer right away. But if you really want me to answer your questions, send me a message, okay? I think you guys probably already have my page. So if you go to the description of the video, then if you go to the description of the video, sorry about that, then you can actually go to my page and you can follow me. And by following my page, you will be able to actually ask me any questions that you want, because I always answer, and on my page I post a lot of stuff. Just all the time I'm posting about English. So wow, I see that we have a lot of people here today writing that they're teachers. So if you are a teacher, definitely follow me, because I have a lot of resources for you. And I'm actually helping teachers right now start up teaching businesses around the world. So send me a message and I'll tell you more about that. And you can actually go to the link that I've shared and learn more. For students of English, anyone who's a student of English, and if you want to study, if you want to take lessons with me, then go ahead and just follow me on Facebook, because right now I'm actually starting something very special where you can study with me for $2. And that's not $2 for one lesson, that's $2 for a month of lessons, okay? So that's a special thing I'm doing. It's kind of a secret. So the 375 people who are here right now, that's a secret. Don't tell anybody else, but because you're watching today, I can offer you that $2 to study with me for a whole month. Great. So, okay, everybody else who is watching right now, I'm going to go back to answering some more questions. I see we have someone from Boston. Awesome. I love Boston. It's one of my favorite cities. Let's see. Island said, thank you. I'm a teacher too. Island, send me a message. I have a lot of resources I can share with you. Great. Okay. Somebody is asking for grammar. Somebody's asking for, there's a lot of questions here. So, all right, guys, let me get back to giving you some more useful information about English. Someone said, send me your Facebook link. Well, my Facebook link is here. I'm sending it to you in the chat. All right, there we go. There it is. It's in the chat. So now you can find my page and follow me. Okay, guys. So from Argentina. Wow, we have people from everywhere today. All right, there's something that I want to tell you about, because there was a question about bring and grab and things like that. And here's what I want to tell you. So a lot of people don't know about this, and for students, I think that this will be really, really interesting, because most English books out there don't talk about this at all. I don't know why, but they don't talk about it at all. If you're a teacher, you're really going to like this too, because I'm sure your students have never heard about it. So here's what it is. There's something in English that is very special. A lot of languages have this, but a lot of people have never heard of it. And the technical name for this, for all of the teachers who are out there, the technical name for this is deixis. And basically what that means is how two things are related. This is a very simple explanation, but let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So you probably know the words here and there. I hope you know them. If you're watching me and you don't know the words here and there, then it's probably difficult to understand me. But the words here and there. So when I say here, it depends where I am, right? If I'm in Florida, like right now, and I say here, then you need to understand that I mean in Florida. But if I'm in Moscow, in Russia, and I say here, then you should understand that I'm speaking about Moscow. So the word here can have a different meaning depending on where the person who's speaking is located. This is a very important concept. And when I use the example here and there, you might not see why it's so important, but I'm going to explain why. So just stay with me. So for example, a lot of times when someone calls us on the phone, we say, hello, 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 are you, do we say, are you here or are you there? Well, I would say, are you there? Because if I say, are you here, then that means the person is near me, that I can see them, right? They're near me. And if I say, are you there? It means they're away from me, or they're near that person, the person who's listening. So this concept is very, very important. Okay? The concept behind here is near me, near the speaker. And the concept of there is near the listener or away from the speaker. So guys, let's see, Miriam writes, yes, it's all about linguistics, deixis. You're right, this is about linguistics, and you know, a good teacher should also be a linguist, a good language teacher, right? So yes, this concept, near me or away from me, or near you, right? Here and there. Other words automatically have this meaning too. And this is something that a lot of English learners don't know, and they don't get it from English books. And that's why I'm really happy that I get to share this with, you know, the 400 people who are watching right now. So the words this and that also show this concept. Near me, away from me. And when I say this, for example, this pen, it means it's near me. If I say that pen, it's not near me, it's away from me, or it's near you. I see this a lot with some different people who are speaking different languages. Oh, I see Claire is in our group. Hi, Claire. How's it going? The weather here in Florida is great. Thanks for asking. How is it in Taiwan? All right, so excellent. How's it there? Waiting for your answer. I'm going to continue. So yeah, this and that. This pen, if I speak to someone and they say, give me that pen, then I understand what they're saying. But sometimes my students will tell me, Kris, give me this pen, and they'll point at me. I'm holding a pen. They say, give me this pen. And I say, what are you talking about? Because when we say this, it means that I need to look at you because you're speaking about something that's near you. Another example is that sometimes people are speaking about a place, and sometimes people are speaking about a place that they went to in the past. For example, let's say we went to a restaurant, and then after that, we went to my office. And at my office, we're sitting and we're speaking about the restaurant, and we say, I really like the atmosphere in the restaurant. Do I say there or here? I can say the restaurant is so great. I really like the atmosphere there. Really like the atmosphere there. Not here, because if we say here, it's in my office. If we say there, it's away from the people who are speaking, away from the place that we are now, right? Okay, this is very important. Now, yes, I see Karen wrote demonstrative pronouns. This is great, yeah. These are examples, this and that, but they're also examples of this thing we call deixis. So examples of this concept here, near me and away from me. So great. Another example, these and those, right? These is just when we have more than one thing. This is one thing, these more than one. And when we say that, it's one thing, and those more than one. Okay, here is where it gets more difficult. The words come and go also have this meaning. Now, this is where a lot of English learners make mistakes. because they don't know that that come actually means near me, and go means away from me. That's so important, because people won't understand us if we say it the other way. I mean, everybody knows that that come here is correct, but when do we say come there? We don't usually, because come is near me and there is away from me. The same with go there, right? Go away from me and there away from me. But we don't usually say go here, right? Because here is near me and go is away from me. So we really, really, really don't want to confuse these things. We need to pay attention to what's near me, what's away from me. This is a very important concept. And I hear people make this mistake a lot. A lot of people say, go to me, or go here, or something like this. This is a big mistake. It's an opposite meaning. All right, another example of this is bring and take. So bring means that we're holding something and we're moving near the person who speaks. And take means that we're holding something and moving away from something else. So this is a very important concept. All of the teachers who are watching, I see Jessica wrote me from Texas. She says, excellent, thanks a lot. Thank you for watching. All the teachers who are watching right now, this is a concept that almost no English books go into. They don't talk about this. And that means that a lot of teachers out there, a lot of students out there don't learn this. They never learn this. So this is something that that I think that it's just really important, and a lot of my students don't know this, and I have a special lesson that I teach about this, and that's why I'm sharing this with you too. When you have a whiteboard and you can draw it and you can show people visually, it's better too. But what are you going to do? Facebook Live. Maybe they'll come up with something better soon. So guys, okay, I'm going to go back to the chat. There's just so many comments right now. It looks like we've already got about 150 comments, and that's great. So thank you guys so much for participating today. And before I answer another question, I just want to remind you that if you're a teacher, because there are a lot of teachers watching right now, if you're a teacher, go to my language teaching business community and website. Here it is. I'm sending the links again. And if you are a student, then go to my group, English with Kris Amerikos. And there's a lot of resources there. I post every day. I actually post a new video on my YouTube channel every day also. So in the description to this video, you can find my YouTube channel, and there it is. So I'm posting all the links in the chat also, so that it's easy for you guys to find them. I have Instagram, I have VK, I have lots of different stuff. I post everywhere all the time. I'm all about teaching English. I love it. All right, guys, back to the chat. Let's see. Can I learn English? I need someone. Yeah, definitely. I told you guys I'm sharing a secret with you guys. You can study with me for $2 a month. That's it. Not for one lesson, but for a whole month of lessons, $2. So if you want to know more about that, send me a message. So yeah, guys, go to my page, follow me, and send me a message if you have questions. If I didn't answer your questions here, just follow me. All right, let's see. Nancy DeFalco just wrote, difference between college and university. Well, Nancy, that's a good question, because this is another issue, another problem in studying English. British English and American English. So in British English, British English is closer to other European languages, other European cultures. So in British English, college is actually something just after school and usually before university. But in the United States, college and university are almost the same thing. In the United States, a university is a place where they have a program where you can get a PhD or a doctorate. That means you can become a doctor of something, not a medical doctor only, but a doctor of philosophy, a doctor of psychology. This is a university. And a college in the United States doesn't have a doctoral program, doesn't have a program for getting a PhD in something. That's the difference. All right? Great. Let's go back. I want to answer some more questions. And, today I feel like I've got a lot of energy, a lot of motivation. How do you guys feel? How do you feel out there? I saw some people writing, let's see, Livio writes, "You're a great teacher from Italy." Oh, hey, I have a bunch of students from Italy. I lived in Italy for 2 years, actually, in Sicily. Yeah, great. So let's see, Claire writes, "In Taiwan, a university usually has several colleges." That's awesome, Claire. And yeah, I think, in the United States, that's also true that inside of a university, we might have something called a School of Medicine or School of Law. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to answer some more questions from the chat now because there's just so many questions, and I'm going to be on here a long time today. I have just a lot of energy. So let's see. Please explain pair pronunciation. Flia writes, pair pronunciation. My students find it difficult. Okay, cool, very cool. I think what you're talking about is something called minimal pairs. So minimal pairs are when we have two words that have all of the same, sorry, I saw another interesting comment here. Minimal pairs are when we have all of the same sounds in two words except for one sound. So one sound is different, and if we make a mistake pronouncing the sound, then we will understand it as a different word. A good example is ship and sheep. And I saw someone write this question before. So yeah, this is a question of long I and short I. So okay, what I want you guys to do right now is practice this sound with me. I'm going to say this sound, and I know that I can't hear you speaking back to me right now. But when we have lessons together, you'll have the chance to speak and I can correct your pronunciation. And remember, right now, only right now, I'm offering a special deal where you can study with me for a whole month for $2. Only $2. All right, it's just a special I'm doing right now. Don't tell anybody else because this is just a special thing for people who are watching right now. So when we want to pronounce long I and short I, like in the words sheep and ship, sometimes people are confused about this. Let's repeat this sound. Let's repeat this word right now, okay? Actually, let's just start with sounds. First sound is E. Go ahead, say it. I know if you're sitting at your computer or maybe you're on the bus listening on your phone and might be a little strange, but go ahead and just say it. E. All right. Enrique says hi from Argentina. Hey, hi Enrique, thanks for joining us. And now the short I or short E sound. This is eh, eh. So pay attention to the mouth and how I'm saying these sounds. That's the first thing we're gonna do. E. Second sound. Eh. So what you should notice is that the E sound, the long sound, is in the bottom part of the mouth. And the I sound, the short sound, is in the top part of the mouth. That's first. That's just very, basic, very simple. And Wilbur, watching from Nicaragua. Great. Thank you so much for watching. So, okay, about long E and short E. It looks like we are down to about 310 people watching right now. Guys, if you're watching this and you like this and you think it's valuable and it's useful, please share this. Just share it to your wall, share it to your groups, share it with your friends, because the more people who learn English, the better we can all understand each other, right? I mean, it's the global language today, and it's really important for everyone to learn. So help me out, share this video with people. And you know, those people will get our special deal too, $2 for a month. And teachers out there will find the training that we do, and they'll become better teachers. And better teachers means better students. Better students means better future. So share the video, and I'm going to answer some more questions. So guys, yeah, long E, short E. Long E actually has two values, let's say, two parts. It's E, E, all right? When we say long and short, that's what we mean. Long just means that we say it twice. So a lot of people think that they have to say the sound long or say the sound short. That's not true. The long sound, you just say twice. So, for example, there's another minimal pair, and this minimal pair is fit and feet. Fit, feet. All right? Now, when I say the word fit, there's three sounds, right? If we look at the phonetics, the sounds of the word, there's only three sounds. There's f, I, t. F, I, t. Fit. But if I say the word feet, there's really four sounds, okay? When we write it phonetically, we have this I sound, and then we have two dots that we use to show that we say it twice. We say it longer, all right? It's not that we say it just really long, but we say it twice. So it's actually f, I, t. All right, so there's fit and feet. Feet. Okay, I hope that helps with the pronunciation. It's hard to do pronunciation lessons. It's hard to do pronunciation lessons when we are doing, you know, a live video here on Facebook. But I'm trying to get it across to you guys. And if you're having trouble with pronunciation, I have a special pronunciation course that I've made to help people speak more naturally and speak like a native speaker. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and send me a message about that right now. You can find my link in the description to this video. And I also sent my link, you know, in the chat several times. So you can find me, follow me, send me a message, and I'll answer. All right, guys, let's see. I want to go back to the questions. Let's see, someone from Morocco, Ecuador. Hey, guys, we have so many people from so many different countries in here today. It's just so great. Best regards from Bulgaria. Wow, thanks for writing in, Elena. Great. All right, guys. Well, you know, I've still got a lot of energy. We're going to keep going. So write more questions. I'm sure that I've missed a lot of questions already. And I'm going to try to go back and answer some more. All right. What other questions? What other questions? Let's see. Livio says, where did you live in Sicily? I'm Sicilian. Cool. I used to live in near Catania on Mount Etna. Yeah. So I really loved it there. Great. Let's see. What else? Other questions, other questions. Go ahead and write your questions right now, and I'm going to just start answering really fast, if I can answer it fast. A lot of these questions, they require me to answer in, you know, a lot of sentences. So it takes me a few minutes to answer, but I'll try to answer quickly. Tell us about movies we can watch to improve our English. Great. Well, movies that you can watch. It depends on your level of English. If you have an elementary level or pre-intermediate level of English, I suggest watching cartoons for children, all right? Or educational programs for children. If you're 50 years old or 60 years old and you're watching TV shows for children, That's completely okay. All right, that's fine. Don't feel bad. You're helping to learn the language. That's how, let's see, we have a question. How can I get info about your classes? $2 per month. Send me a message. My link is in the description to this video. And yeah, guys, if you want to study with me, you can study with me for a whole month for $2. Just $2, all right? So just send me a message and I'll tell you more. So if you have a lower level of English, watch TV shows, movies, educational programs for children. And how do you know what your level is? Well, I'm doing this video at an intermediate level. So if it's difficult for you to understand what I'm saying, then you probably have a pre-intermediate level or an elementary level. If you don't understand anything I'm saying, then you probably have a beginner level. If you understand what I'm saying, if you understand most of what I'm saying, then you probably have an intermediate level or an upper intermediate level. And if you understand everything I'm saying and it's kind of boring for you, then you probably have an upper intermediate or advanced level of English. Great. So Enrique writes, weren't you afraid to be burnt by Etna? Yeah, actually it erupted when I was living there, and we got a video of it from my balcony. It was pretty cool. Life experiences. Let's see, Aida writes, where can I recognize about your teaching? I am new here. Aida, sorry, I don't understand what you mean by recognize. You can find more information about you can watch my videos on YouTube. You can find information about studying with me. You can send me a message. My links are all in the description to this video. If you click this video, you will see all of my links. You can go to all those pages and subscribe, join, follow. All right? Okay, we have another question here. What is the difference between pen and pencil? Well, let me see if I have a pen and pencil around here. Well, okay, this is a pen. Pens have ink. Pencils have lead. All right, that's the difference. You might not know what those words mean, so you can understand that a pencil is not plastic, but a pen is plastic. So that's the best way to explain it here on this live video. Great, let's see, we have Sheila also giving her advice about how to study with movies. Independent level of English, I would also recommend to watch films with different accents, because learning American English and then going to Scotland, for instance, would be interesting. Absolutely. Sheila, thank you for your input. You sound like a teacher. You might actually be interested in our starting your own teaching business program. But Sheila, thanks for that. And I definitely agree that if you are, if you have a higher level of English, if you understand everything I'm saying, if you understand me very well, yeah, I speak American English because I'm from the United States. And I try to speak very clearly with what we call a non-regional accent or a neutral accent. But if you go to different places, you're going to hear different accents. In Ireland, they have a different accent. In Scotland, a different accent. In the UK, lots of accents. Australia, different accent. And then we have places like South Africa, Singapore. They also speak English and they also have a different accent. So, it depends on what you want. In my course about pronunciation called English Hacks, if you go to Google and search for Kris Amerikos, English Hacks, you'll find it. In my pronunciation course, I actually start from that point, that it's very important to understand what accent you need so that you can sound natural. All right? Nina writes me, just do an accent, please. Show me an Irish accent. Nina, I don't want to make myself look like an idiot, honestly, because just because someone understands accents and understands how accents are made doesn't mean that they can do a good accent, all right? So I would suggest going to YouTube and looking for Irish accents there, because me as an American guy, you know, I'm a professional teacher. If I hear an Irish accent, I can definitely tell you what it is, but I'm not going to pretend to have an English accent right now, or an Irish accent right now. So sorry that I can't do that for you, but it is what it is. All right, let's see. Can you repeat the web page? English okay, yeah. So most of the links that I have, first of all, if you click on this video, you'll see all the links to my pages and everything else. There you can follow and subscribe and everything like that. If you want to go to my website, if you're a teacher, my website is languageteachingbusiness.com. So www.languageteachingbusiness.com. That's for teachers. If you want to study English, my website is krisamerikos.com, and you can go to english.krisamerikos.com, and you can study English with me. So guys, you know, I also lived in Russia for about 8 years, and I taught Russian people English, and I opened a language school there. That was my first teaching business. And I also teach Russian. So if you're interested in that, russian.krisamerikos.com. And guys, just remember that if you have any questions, if you can't find anything, send me a message. I see some people are asking about the pronunciation course. That was English Hacks. And if you can't find it, just send me a message. You know, follow me here on Facebook. My link is right there in the description to the video. And follow me and send me a message, and I will send you the link. All right, it's that easy. But of course, I'll only answer you after I finish this live video. Let's see, we have someone, hi from Poland. Hey, I actually have a lot of students from Poland. Great to have you on the video today. Let's see, Sheila, yes, I got my modern languages degree and had both American and British teachers, but my master's was in Wales and it was difficult to get their intonation. I agree with you, Sheila. For me, as a native speaker of English, sometimes it's difficult for me to get intonation of different English speakers from different countries. So, see, Sam Ira says, hello from Germany. Hey, here we have another question. Have you ever been in Georgia? Georgia, I see that your name is in Georgian, the language. And so, no, I've never been to Georgia. I actually have started helping some teachers from Georgia start their own business, and I have some students from Georgia because they also speak Russian and Georgian. So I've never been there, but it's, you know, I've heard it's a great place. And the closest I've been to Georgia is Sochi in Russia. So, all right, guys, let me get back to some more of the important questions here. So let's see, can you write your internet website here? Well, I've written all of them in the description to this video. So click the video and you can go there. But yeah, if you have other questions about other websites, send me a message. All right, okay, we have a long comment here. Hopefully I can have enough time to read it all. Nadia wrote, I have a difficulty with reading books in English. If I understand a whole sentence that I didn't read, pay attention to new words, thus I don't remember them. Could you give us some tips for widening vocabulary, learning new words? Maybe there's some methods. Writing them down, learning with flashcards doesn't really work for me. Okay, good question. So the question is, how do we remember new vocabulary? If we learn lots of new words, how do we remember all of these words? And I'm going to answer you in detail right now, okay? One thing that I study is memory, because it's very important for teachers to communicate information to students in a way that they remember, not just for a few minutes, but forever. So memory is a very important topic. And before I answer, because this is going to be a long answer, it'll probably take me 5 minutes to answer it. Before I answer, what I want you to do is, everybody who's watching right now, share this video with someone, okay? Just send it to your best friend, and share it on your wall, share it somewhere. Because what I'm about to say is actually very important, not only for people who are learning English, but for people who are teaching English and for people who speak any language or study any language at all. Anybody who learns anything or studies anything, it's very important. So, memory. First of all, we need to remember that there are different types of memory. And the first type of memory that we need to talk about is working memory, or what some people call short-term memory. Short-term memory only lasts for a minute, usually. Not very long, maybe a couple minutes. And we can usually only hold about 7 pieces of information in our short-term memory or working memory. 7 pieces of information. Now, if you think about a phone number, the first phone numbers were only 7 digits long, right? There were 7 numbers in a phone number. And that's because scientists studied memory and found out that typical short-term memory can only hold about 7 pieces of information. So when we're learning new information and we're trying to use it right now in our short-term memory, 7 pieces of information. That's also one of the reasons why when we read texts and when we're learning new vocabulary, scientists say that if you're reading, for example, if you're reading a page in a book, then it's important that you understand 90% of the words. If you understand 90% of the words, then the other 10% you will be able to learn. If you only understand 50% of the words, you're not going to remember all of that new vocabulary. All right? 90 or 95% you need to understand already. And then 5 to 10% can be new vocabulary. That's how much you can learn so that you can actually remember something. Now, some people who have a very, very, very good memory, they might be able to understand when they only know about 85%, but it's usually 90 to 95%. So when we want to remember something long-term, though, it's not about our short-term memory, it's about our long-term memory. And that's something that is very different, okay? Because when we're studying something, there are lots of different factors that help us remember it. And first of all, we need to understand that there are different types of memory, not only short-term and long-term, but things like iconic memory, things that we see. And things that we see usually stay in our short-term memory for about half a second, really. We don't remember them very long. But things that we hear, called our echoic memory, things that we hear, they stay in our memory about 2 to 3 seconds, so a little longer. The best way to put something into your short-term memory is to use lots of senses. So if you see it, you hear it. If you can touch it, that's even better. So we want to use all of our senses. And I know that I'm getting a little too detailed here. I'm saying a little too much about memory, so I'm going to try to make it a little faster. But in order for us to move something from our short-term memory to our long-term memory, we actually need to use some kinds of methods to encode, all right, to put this information into our long-term memory. And there's a lot of different ways that we can do this. So I'm going to start by telling you some of the ways that aren't very good, the things that don't help us learn very well and remember things very well. The first one, which isn't very effective, is what we call rote rehearsal. This is when we just repeat something. So if I if I just say Tegucigalpa is the capital of Nicaragua, Tegucigalpa is the capital of Nicaragua, and if I just keep saying it over and over again, it's not really going to help me remember something. It's not going to help me remember this piece of information. But if I use a different technique, a different method, strategy for remembering things, then I can take things from my working memory, put them in my long-term memory better. For example, if I do chunking. Chunking basically means that if I have lots of pieces of information, I can put them into groups. So, maybe I have a list of food like strawberries, bananas, grapes, oranges, and then I have walnuts, and then I have whatever. I have a big list of stuff. So maybe I want to put them in groups of fruit, vegetable, proteins, things like that. If I do that, it'll help me remember them better and longer. Maybe I can put them in groups of colors. Apples and strawberries are both red, so that's that group. And then I might say oranges and something else or orange. So if I chunk, it'll help me keep this information in my long-term memory longer. Now, something even more effective than chunking is what we call mnemonic devices. And there's a lot of different ways that this works. One of them, my favorite, is just using acronyms. So, for example, when I was studying geography, I always had trouble remembering the names of the Great Lakes in North America, between Canada and the United States. And we have an acronym that helps us remember it. It's HOMES. So we have Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. So you see, now I remember that. Now it's in my long-term memory. Why? Because of this acronym. We do the same in English. In school, teachers use this method to teach children the colors of the rainbow. So the acronym there, we had a man's name, Roy G. Biv. I don't know how I remember this. Actually, I do. I used mnemonic devices. So it's still in my long-term memory. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, the colors of the rainbow. And that's possible because of what we call acronyms, and this is one example of a mnemonic device. Now, something even more effective than mnemonic devices is self-referencing. Self-referencing is when we think about how this new information really affects us and how we're going to use it in our real life. So when we do self-referencing, we usually, apply the information to our real life. So I might say, I might learn Tegucigalpa is the capital of Nicaragua, and I think to myself, okay, when I'm traveling down Central America and I'm thinking of places that I want to visit all the capitals. So if I go to Nicaragua, I want to visit Tegucigalpa. And yeah, okay. So I apply it to my real life. I think of, in this situation, this is when I will need this. And that helps me remember it long term. It takes it from my short-term memory and puts it into my long-term memory. We call this encoding. So there's actually a lot of ways to do this. And another important thing to do when we're trying to remember lots of information is spacing, okay? So spacing means that we don't try to learn a lot of information all at once. If you have 5 hours to study, don't study for 5 hours. Study for 1 hour and then take a 10-minute break. And then study for an hour and then take a break. And maybe take a break for an hour and then come back and study for another hour. All right? What you're going to do is when you come back to study again, you're going to refresh that information. It's going to be stronger in your mind. Because when we're talking about creating memories or learning a language or doing anything, we're really talking about how our brains work. And it's a little complicated, so I'm not going to describe it completely right now, the psychology and the physiology of how our mind sends signals down the neurotransmitters in our brains. That's for another time. And this is something that I go over with some teachers who I train. But yeah, it's really important to understand that our brains need that space. So, okay, I think I've talked way too much about memory. And I see that a lot of people have been asking other questions here, so I want to give other people the chance to ask and for me to answer. Okay, Ola says, is it possible for non-native speakers to sound like a native, where we always feel that it isn't your first language? Thank you for that question. So the answer is, it's possible. I actually know a lot of students who have been able to do this. We had a couple, a man and his wife, who studied with us. They were beginners. They didn't really know English at all. They studied with us for 2 years. And then they immigrated to Australia, and now they speak perfectly, really. For other people, it takes a lot longer. Some people start studying when they're a kid, when they're a child, and they really like it, and they travel to the country, and they start to speak like a native speaker. So, you know, I started studying Russian as an adult, but I lived there for a long time, and I speak with Russian people a lot. I don't think that I sound like a native speaker, but you know, I can't express myself as well as I can in my first language, but I can think in this language. I dream in this language. I sing in this language. You can see my Facebook page. I recorded a song where I'm playing guitar and singing in Russian. So it depends on what you want. Let me ask you this, Ola. Sounding like a native speaker. Who decides when you sound like a native speaker? Do you decide that, or do other people decide that? Who is it important to? Because if you go to a shop and you speak to someone and they say, "Oh, where are you from? I like your accent." And you think, "Oh, I don't sound like a native speaker. They understand that I'm not from here." Well, is it really important? Because that person doesn't mean anything to you, do they? They're just a person working in a shop. It's important what you think. All right? It's important how you feel about your level of language. And it's important about, right? We talked at the beginning of this video about what language is. It's used for communication. If people understand you, then you speak well. If people don't understand you, you need practice. That's what I think. All right? I think that if I can communicate what I want to people and I get what I want, I know the language. I can speak it. All right? So this is more of a psychological thing because it really depends on who is judging it. All right. Let's see. Let me answer some more questions here. All right, what other questions do we have in the chat here? Okay, guys, well, it looks like we've been at this for a long time, over an hour already. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined today and watched today, and everybody who wrote in comments. Looks like we have, wow, almost 300 comments. So I'm going to go back through the comments and look at the questions, and maybe next time when I do this video, I usually do this video once or twice every week, I'll try to answer some of those questions. And again, if you want more lessons, then you can send me a message. And right now I have a special deal, very special deal, that you can study with me for only $2 for a whole month, all right? it's really special because usually it costs a lot more. It's a little expensive to study with me usually, but right now, $2 and you can study with me. If you're a teacher, I want to help you. I want to help you be a better teacher because better teachers make better students make a better future. So that's better for everyone. Teachers, send me a message because we have a training program that'll help you start a teaching business. And also we do teacher training. So yeah, that would be great. And I love working with teachers from all over the place. Right now we work with teachers from every continent except for Antarctica. So thank you again for watching. And if you have any other questions, feel free to write me a message on Facebook. Just click this video right now and follow me on all of the different pages because there's a lot of useful resources there. And I release a new video every single day on my YouTube channel. All right. So thanks guys for watching. And I expect to get a lot of messages from you right now about lessons, about teaching, about, other questions that you have that I didn't answer. So I see Claire sent a picture of a penguin. Claire, thanks for being here with us today too. By the way, anybody who's here right now and who's watching, Claire is also a professional teacher and she can help you out with learning English and with speaking better. Claire has worked with us before and she can tell you, if you're a teacher, you can ask her about our training program. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask her because sometimes you don't want to just ask the guy who's speaking on the video, right? But thank you guys. I'm gonna end the video now and it's been great talking to you guys and I will see you next time, all right? Take care, have a great day, and keep learning and teaching English. It's very important.